There we go. Try it out.
Start talking.
Hello, listeners. How are you? This is Charles Scott, Tri-State Realty. Here we are again this weekend, here with my son.
Charles Scott Jr., how you guys been? And we're here to talk to you not just about real estate, but things that can help your life.
Some of the things that have happened in the last couple of weeks have really changed, I'd say, the landscape a little bit as far as what's going on. But we want to talk today about what's going to happen in the future. We sort of know what's been happening in the past, and the Federal Reserve has been trying to bring down the interest rates, and some of the people that are out here looking for homes have had a little bit of a challenge because of the inventory. And we have a lot of segments that we've been doing on rentals, because all of this is affecting the rental market.
All of it. I'll say, not to interrupt you, but all this has an effect on the rental market, because what's going to happen is the people that should be in houses, the first-time home buyers, they're going to be forced to rent when they wouldn't normally have to. So what does that do? That makes the rental supply shrink, which puts a stress on the rental market.
Yeah, one of the things that we've done is we've tried to talk about some advantages is how the people out here can find a rental.
Yes.
And some of the things and strategies that you have to use to be able to rent. I have a lot of people that are telling me, like, I want to hold off for a little while before I sell my house because I've got to go out and I've got to find another property. But one of the things, it's still a good time to sell, and it is a good time to buy if you can get the right deal. If you're looking to sell the property, some of the people that are looking to sell, what we're finding, are people that maybe they're moving to a state where the prices are a lot lower. Maybe I had a lady right now, maybe you're moving out of the country.
Yes. So say a lot of people moving back to their home country and saying, hey, I'm going to sell this house that I have here in the States, move back home, where my dollar will actually go further.
People are moving to Europe. People are moving to Jamaica, Barbados, different countries. The world is a little smaller now because you can jump on a plane and 2 hours later be in another country. So a lot of people are moving, and with the strength of the dollar, it's a perfect world. I mean, you're selling your house and you're taking $200,000 and you're going into an area where $200,000 you can live like a millionaire.
Yeah, buy a mansion, right?
If you're retiring and you got your Social Security, you got your pension, and you got $300,000 in the bank, it's a totally different world.
Exactly. And what I was going to say, as far as people that are selling their houses, what we're trying to do is we have to link the first-time home buyers to these people, get them right there before, like I say, the investors and other people that try to swoop in and take these houses and rent them out. But these higher interest rates is making what I say a more level playing ground. You hear on the news, high interest rate is preventing first-time home buyers from getting in the market. What I was saying is these high interest rates are actually making the market go back to what it was, back to normal.
One of the things that I was going to talk a little bit about today is you've been hearing a lot about the rental unions, where more so than ever. I've never seen it like it is right now, where a lot of tenants are getting together and forming a rent strike or a renters union where they're protesting against the landlords that are buying up all of the different properties. And there's pros and cons to that. For example, one of the things that I want to warn a lot of the tenants about is that if you are doing a rent strike and your landlord starts a foreclosure proceeding against you, you make sure you do not miss any court dates, and make sure that you file all your answers to explain to the court what's going on. Because what if the landlord files an eviction notice against you and you don't do anything about it, and then let's say later on you come to terms and everybody's happy again, and he withdraws the eviction notice, but it's still on your record.
That's the thing. I tell people right now, remember, once you get into an eviction process, whether you win or lose the eviction, now your name is in that system. So remember, if you're going to move on to that landlord and apply to other apartments, when they run your name, it may show up. Remember to be ready to explain in detail and be honest about what happened during that eviction.
Because what happens a lot of times, if you're dealing with let's say a rental agency, you go in, you apply for an apartment, and now they go and they use these third-party companies. Years ago, the old days, you shake the landlord's hand, you give him the money, he looks at you, he hands you the keys, and you're into the apartment. Those days are over with.
Hey, sometimes the same day you found the apartment. How about that?
Those days are over with. It doesn't work like that anymore. Now you apply for an apartment just like you're applying for a mortgage. And the landlord wants to know who your past landlord was. And in some cases, who the landlord was before that.
How about that? I've seen applications where they ask your last 10 years of rental history.
They want to see pay stubs. They want to see credit report. They want to see a background report. And this is all legal. They can request all of these things before you rent that apartment. Now, let's say you didn't pay the rent because of a rent strike or whatever it was, and now the landlord starts an eviction. It's on your record. Then he takes it away, and it's no longer valid. However, because he filed that motion and he put it in the court system, now it's in the court system. Exactly. Now you go out and you apply for an apartment. Now you've applied for an apartment, and the company who does the investigation, all they see there is eviction. It doesn't say what happened. It doesn't say that, the reason for it. It didn't say that, you weren't paying your rent. It just shows eviction on your report. So now you get denied for an apartment. A lot of times people will come to us and they'll say, I got denied for all these apartments. I can't understand why. And then when we look into it, we say, it's because you have an eviction on your record. And then they'll say, well, that's not really how it happened. And then they explain it to us. And it makes sense. And it might make sense to the landlord that we explain it to. But to the other landlords out there or the other companies, they take it for face value. They just see it there and they say, nope, reject.
Yep, they don't go into detail. That's why I tell people who are looking for an apartment, you can go on to the website, cd.jud, print all that stuff out, have it ready to show the landlord to say, hey, see, this is documented by the court. We settled, money was paid, I caught up on the rent. There wasn't an eviction, I'm moving out on my own will.
Now, I want to move that a little further. Let's take it to another sense when it comes to you as an individual out there looking to buy a house. How can we compare it to you? Let's say, for example, you have a credit report, and on your credit report it shows that you didn't pay a bill, or it's a collection. You went, you paid the bill off, the collection agency got their money, and you got a receipt saying that you paid for it. So you're happy. Okay, I got my receipt, I paid that bill, I don't owe them any more money.
Did everything right.
Did everything right. Now, you're starting to get rejected. Your credit score is still down low, and you're saying, what's going on? And 2 or 3 years later, you realize that that bill is still on your credit report.
How about that?
Why? Because, yes, you paid the person that you owed the money to, but they never notified the credit bureau that you paid them.
How about that? A lot of times they take the money and run and move on to the next debt.
That's right, because now they got the money, and they figure, well, okay, thank you, and you shake hands, everybody's happy. But what happens is that it's got to be one more step. That one more step is make sure that they took it and notified the credit bureau that you paid that bill. Now, if the bill was in error, they are obligated to take that off your credit report. But remember, if it was not an error and you did owe the money, even though you paid them, they will still have it on your report, but it will say paid, not collectible. That's a big difference.
Exactly.
And why is that a big difference? Because when you go to buy a house, if you owe somebody $1,000, the bank doesn't want that sitting there because they give you the money. The people you owe that money to may put a lien on the house.
Very true.
Now you starting out where there's a lien. What's that? That's where they go to court and say, on the copy of the mortgage papers in City Hall, we want a lien recorded against that deed. You can't sell the house until that's paid. You can't refinance until that's paid. You can't do too much anything until that's paid, and they know that that lien is on there. Maybe you already paid it, but you have to follow up whenever you pay your bills off.
Always follow up. Always
follow up and make sure that whoever you gave that money to informs the credit bureau that it was paid. Or if it was an error, make sure that they take it off your credit report.
Remember, each year you can get a free copy of your credit report, so make sure you take advantage of that. And just review it, even if you're not in the market of buying a house, just to make sure maybe in 2 years you will be. Why not fix the problem now than wait until then?
Now, what do we see happening? Right now, The Federal Reserve is going to be meeting again. When do they meet
I
again?
believe in the middle of the month. Coming up.
So we're back to, there's never been so much emphasis on the Federal Reserve as there has been within the last couple of
I
years.
will say.
Most people didn't even know what a Federal Reserve was.
People are educated more now than ever.
More people know because it's directly affecting their pocketbook, affecting their life. They have this saying, "Don't fight the Fed," something like that. In other words, you can't beat them because it has such long-term implications that you might win a little small battle, but they're in it for the long haul.
Exactly. So right now they're going to be meeting again. And what's going to happen, we're at a point in this, I'll say post-pandemic, that for the past few years, we've seen what they do. They've been increasing the interest rate, keep going up, up, up. But it's a point where they can't go up too much. If you look back in our episodes, remember to subscribe. We have a lot of episodes, at least this is like probably episode 53 now.
Right.
But if you go back in the records, you'll see I gave an example of when you're pouring a cup of soda or a beer, remember that froth. Their goal is not to let the froth touch the table. So they have to pour just enough. Imagine the increasing of the interest rate is me pouring. They want to make sure it doesn't overflow. So we're at that tipping point where what do they do next? Do they increase it one more time? Or do they let it sit and let that froth bubble and let us get back to a normal economy pre-pandemic?
Right. The Federal Reserve does not want to spook people.
Exactly. They haven't already.
And you also got to be careful when you hear all of these reports and all of these economists. People talk with forked tongues,
I will say, very true. That's a good example.
Remember, when you're hearing all of these things on TV about, how things looking good, possible, they never say directly what is really happening.
No.
They always add a disclaimer like, possibly we can do this. We're looking towards easing inflation.
It's very vague, never right on the dot.
Never right on the dot. I always said to myself, even the stock market can't get it right. You have millions of people investing money.
Hedge funds, 4 years of
Hedge
experience.
funds.
They're still semi-guessing.
Even they get it wrong, and they can hire the best people out there. They pay these people millions and millions of dollars to sit down and do what my son and I are doing 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They got computers that cost
Algorithms.
billions, algorithms. They got everything under the sun to try and figure out what is going to happen next week.
Exactly.
If they get it right just a tiny bit, it means making profits of millions. And even with all that information, they get it wrong.
They can still get it wrong. So that's why we tell people, remember, don't just look at the news. Do your own diligence. Look online. Read articles, See what's going on in your own local economy. Have you been to the grocery store lately? You see those prices still going up? Watch when those prices finally start going down and say, oh, something's changed in the economy. Maybe we're leveling out.
And the thing about it is most of the time you don't know you're in something until it's over with.
How about that?
Right now, they say some say we're in a recession. Some say, no, we're not in a recession.
How about that? You ever hear the news? The recession is always in the future. Always coming, always coming. They never really tell you when you're in the pool, I'll say.
And again, the reason why they do that is they don't want to spook you.
Exactly.
Because if they spook people into something, then they'll have a run on the bank. People all run to the bank, start taking their money out.
Yep.
Then they'll really be in a recession.
No, they'll be in a depression.
Well, that's true too. It'd be
Very
too late
true.
then. So you got to be real careful.
Yes.
And take it in little small increments and start planning. What you're doing. It's like they say when you invest in stocks. Diversify. Put a little here, a little bit there, a little bit here, a little bit here, and be able to change things and maneuver things.
Exactly.
Some things we do know for sure. Number one, save money.
Yes.
Save, even if it's a little bit. Save some money versus not saving any money. So save some money, number one. Pay your bills on time.
Correct.
These are golden rules. Pay your bills on time. If you have not paid your bill on time, start making a settlement with the person you owe the money to pay, and see if you can get it discounted. If you owe them $500, see if they'll settle for $300. These are the golden rules. These are the things that you have to do for you to start looking towards the future. pay your bills on time, start paying off some of your debt. Don't go out making any large new purchases. Forget about the new car. Forget about the big vacation.
No,
These are not times
They're
to
going
be
to say,
doing
Mr.
that.
Scott, but I need that car. But I'll tell you the truth. Look back a couple episodes. Remember, subscribe to us. There's an episode we talk nothing about car, everything but cars. How to buy a car, a nice car, and get it for a good price too. A used car.
Go to the auction.
Mm-hmm.
Go to the auction, or if you know somebody who goes to the auction to buy a car, give them some money to go to the auction.
Yes.
You can go to, Carfax. You know, whenever I buy a car, I go to Carfax. It'll tell me every time the oil was
Exactly.
changed, every little dent it had, every part that was purchased for that car, because they use the VIN numbers. Every time you go to get a car or fix something, that goes into the computer, and that's like the credit bureau of the industry.
Yes.
It's all recorded. So you have an idea. Then go and look and read up all the ratings of that car. What are the things that usually go wrong with that car?
Exactly.
And if it's the transmission, then have the transmission checked out. So do your due diligence if you're going to be doing that. But do not go out here creating a whole lot of new bills.
No, no.
Don't go getting into any long-term high rental leases.
Yes, yes. Be careful. I'm seeing people out here showing 2-year leases. Average lease is 1 year, 6 months. Don't commit to anything, because remember, you may have a chance to get a better apartment next year, but then you're stuck in that current lease.
Yes, try to, go for at least 1 year. Don't try not to go into any 2-year leases or 3-year leases. That's mostly for the commercial buildings.
Yes.
If you're looking to establish a business. So start gearing everything down. Don't buy as many clothes, In America, we love fashion.
Oh, yeah.
The dumps can reach to the skies with clothes that Americans throw away in the landfills. And you open up the average closet, it's stuffed with clothes.
What's the number one thing our customers say that go from apartments to houses? The closets are small, so small. You gotta remember, these houses were built 1920, 1930. People didn't have that many clothes back then. Had an outfit for church, outfit for work, outfit for home.
3 outfits and had plenty of space left over.
Yeah.
And they didn't have maybe one closet in each bedroom.
Yes.
Recently, I've been going into some homes and I see where the closets are so filled with clothes that they go out and they buy these the pieces of furniture where you can just put clothes in. You buy them in a furniture store.
Like a dresser.
It's the dresser, but it's the full.
Oh, it's the one that you can open up.
The full size one.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
So now they stick that into the bedroom for additional clothes. I guess when that one fills up, they'll buy another one. Be like containers stacked against each other. So, and the thing about it is they're not even using the clothes that are in the closet.
How about that?
They just hold on to those. They hold on to those.
Listen, I forgot I own this. How about this? I've seen people buy an outfit, not realizing in the back of the closet they have that same outfit.
And I can't tell you how many people have clothes in the closet with the tags on it that they bought
they
3-4
never
years
wore.
ago. The tag is still there. Like, come on, give me a break,
Very true.
What are you holding on to all of these things for? This is a new day where you have to start streamlining and thinking,
Yes.
because the economics of all of this is going to catch up with you.
Very true.
Whether it's your job, whether it's the way you go out and you buy things, you got to start figuring out, how can I get ahead? And you're going to find that with the job situation being the way it is, a lot of people will lose their job. The biggest thing right now is AI.
Oh, yeah.
That is the biggest
AI
concern out there.
And what I've seen, because I'm doing a lot of studying about it, what they're saying right now is AI is not technically going to replace human beings. What it's going to do is going to be replacing human beings that don't know how to use AI. So what advantage you will have is these new jobs, they'll give the people that know how to use AI to make the job easier and more streamlined. So make sure you brush up your information on that. It's easy to go on Google and look, because you may realize one day at your job, that order you've been punching in, they're going to have a robot do it, or have somebody that knows how to use the robot to punch the order in quicker.
So listen to what we're saying today.
Yes.
Listen, AI is going to be huge.
Very big.
AI, and what is AI? We're saying AI. People
What's
don't
AI
know
mean?
what does
When I
AI.
see somebody say AI, they said Allen Iverson. No, that was the old AI. Artificial intelligence. When you type in AI now, Google will finish it for you.
Artificial intelligence. And the thing about it sounds like something like Star Wars,
Don't it?
but it's here.
It's here.
I remember when I saw the first reports on AI, and I said, wow, this is going to be huge. I said, how come people aren't running up and down the street sounding the warning like the kid that got his finger in the... I said, people need to know what... I said, people don't even know. And I would talk to people about AI, and they look at me like I was crazy.
What are you
They're like,
talking about,
what
Mr.
is
Scott?"
what is AI? I remember talking to a school teacher, and I said, what are you guys doing about AI? And she said, what's AI? I said, you don't know about AI? I said, the students, you can give them an assignment, you could tell them to write a book, and they'll go home and go onto
the
their
robot do it.
computer and tell the computer to write the book in a half hour. They'll have 30, 40 page.
How about this? A half minute. That thing thinks
Well,
instantly.
I was giving it a little break. In a half minute, it'll take 50 billion bits of information, put it together, front to cover, this, that, and bring it to school. And you're going to say, oh, Johnny, that is excellent. And he's going to, maybe put 2 minutes in it, or 5 minutes into it.
Exactly.
And now I talked to that same school teacher, and she's like, oh, my God. She even uses AI
How about that?
to prepare the classes.
She knows what it is now.
She's using AI to prepare the classes. Let me explain to you how big AI is.
Yes.
AI is so big, and to get on a serious note here, that look at what's going on in the industry. Look at the strikes. Look at Ford. Look at GM. Look at all of these automakers. These workers are all understanding, and they get it. They're getting the picture that AI can possibly replace them with the workforce.
Exactly.
So all of these workers all across the auto industry are all concerned about their jobs.
Very true.
Now, look at what's happening in the movie industry. Look at what's happening in the TV industry.
Let me insert something there. I was doing some research. How about this? A lot of actors, some are very concerned, especially actors' families where the actor has passed away. They can use artificial intelligence to impose that actor into a new scene. Imagine seeing Marlon Brando in the new Godfather that's coming out next year. Because they can take the artificial intelligence, computer knows how he sounds, how he looks, and they can make him come back to life. So these actors are wondering, well, who's going to get paid? He's passed away. Is the state going to get a royalty? We want a bigger royalty. We want it to be paid like he's alive now. So we're going to see this really affect every industry that's out there.
Every industry. And what about the people that don't have any royalty compensation agreements?
Yes.
They could take a rapper who's unknown, unheard of, take his image, take his voice, put him out there, and he could have a #1 hit on Billboard. And
about
they
that?
don't have to pay anybody for it.
Very
You
true.
could take an imaginary person.
Exactly.
AI is where you could take, years ago we used to cut and paste.
Yeah, right.
Take somebody's face and put it on here and paste it there, and the body would be jumping around, but the face would be different. Now
Yep.
they can make it look 100%.
Imagine all the hundreds of extras that make money in Hollywood. They can type in a computer. I want a crowd of people here. Computer will generate a crowd of people. Why pay everybody $100 for the day? Have them do extra work. I can generate extra. So we're going to see this change every industry that's out right now.
The things that can be available for artificial intelligence is unbelievable.
Yes.
So if anything today, I implore you, look up, read about artificial intelligence, know how it's going to affect your life too. There's good to AI. Let's say, for example, you've got a bad credit report and you're trying to figure out, how do I correct my credit?
Yes.
I have so many people call me up and say, Mr. Scott, I got this bill, I got that bill, I'm going to pay off my car. I'm like, no, don't do that.
Don't do that.
I said, you only have so much money. You got 6 bills, you're only paying off 1. How about using that money you were going to spend to pay off the car and catch up on the other 5 bills?
Yes.
That's going to make your credit report look a whole lot better. All they're thinking about is, I want to pay off the biggest one so I don't have to pay
let's try to go to the
so I don't have to
biggest
pay it anymore.
Supposed to do the opposite. Get the little ones out the way.
Get the little ones out the
Yes.
way and renegotiate the big one.
There you go. How about that?
If you're paying 600 for the car note, get it down to 400. Take the extra 200 and pay towards the other bills. So see what I just told you there is a strategy to increase your credit report using the same amount of money.
You getting that for free.
That's
if
free.
they call a credit counselor, you know how much that would cost?
$100
To
a
tell you
month.
that strategy? Yeah, they'll charge you monthly to do that. How about that?
What the credit counselors do is they say, give us your money and we will pay your bills for you. So what they do is do what I just did by taking that $100 a month. Well, no, because they get paid.
I was saying, they're
They
taking their
they
fee
get
first.
$100 for them and then $100 for you to pay the bill.
How about that?
Well, you don't have to give them the $100. You could take the $200 and pay the bills.
Yes.
But see, here's the beautiful part about AI. You could say to AI, look, I've got a car note and I've got MasterCard and I've got Visa and I owe this. What is the best strategy for
Yes.
me to pay off these bills? How can I maximize my credit based upon your suggestion? And AI will analyze it and say, this is what you need to do. Bum, 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 bum.
Or how about this? I asked one of my clients the other day. When you want to challenge something on your report, you have to write a letter to the Experian, Equifax, and what's the third one? The
Experian,
Equifax.
Equifax, and TransUnion.
TransUnion. You have to write a letter. I had ChatGPT. I had the artificial intelligence write us a letter. Came out in seconds. We send that off, and now they're in the process of getting that off their credit.
So there's a lot of good things that you can do with
Yes.
artificial intelligence out there in the form of medicine. Who knows?
That's a big one.
You
That's
know?
going to be a big one. They're saying that we're going to find cures for diseases because they can just do so much troubleshooting. The algorithm just knows what to give us.
Right. You see those doctors when they take the test tube and they put one drop here, one drop here, one drop here, and then they sit back for 2 or 3 weeks to wait to see what happens. With the AI, they'll take the algorithms and the billions of bits of information and say, well, if this interacts with this, in 10 minutes they'll say, here's your report. So
Just remind me, I'm going to have to call one of my clients. She told me her daughter was a lab tester. She might be replaced with AI. Oh, my goodness.
So what I'm just telling you is that there's a lot of things that are going to happen.
Yes.
Today we want to tell you, look, get a strategy out there.
Yes.
Things are happening. Things are going to happen. Interest rates are going to be with us for a while, if not going up a tiny bit. But they're going to be here for a while. The status quo is going to be here for a while.
Yes.
Rents are going to be high or even higher. There's still a lot of things that are happening out there. Houses are not being built. There's not enough land. So
I was going to say, it's not all doom and gloom. Give us a call. Whatever situation you're in, we can help you. We can answer any questions.
And if you're looking to sell your house, call us up because we'll
Very true.
give you an idea of, we're still selling houses. People are still putting their houses on the market. Call
We're
us up.
doing multiple CMAs. Remember that CMA is free.
That's right.
People think it costs money. We'll go there and tell you how much your house is worth.
So hopefully we were able to help you today. Give us a call. We can help you with any issues that you may have. Until next week, God bless.
God bless.